Welcome back to Film Files. In today's file, we will be uncovering an American fantasy comedy film from 2003 titled Freaky Friday. Sit back, and let's dive in. A mother and her daughter accidentally switch things up, and this is their story. Anna's alarm clock rings at 6 a.m. sharp. She is reluctant to get out of bed, and her mother Tess has to come into her room to wake her repeatedly but is unsuccessful. It will take the horn from her little brother, Harry, to do the trick. They are soon going to school, and Anna complains about everything. Her mother graciously drops her off while her little brother taunts her. Stacy, a childhood friend turned rival, greets Anna's mum and moves on without even acknowledging Anna. She gets out and meets her friends, who are also her bandmates. Their names are Maddie and Peg. As they talk on the corridor, Jake approaches but continues walking. He is Anna's crush. In class, Mr. Bates hands everyone their marked test papers, and he has a bone to pick with Anna because her mother refused his advances a long time ago at their high school prom. She complains openly, and then he sends her to detention for no real reason. Anna is now at gym class and strikes the volleyball in such a way as to knock Stacy down. Then she gets sent to detention again. At the close of school, she drops her bag and spills its contents. Jake tries to help and notices the guitar pick. He asks if she plays, and she admits she is in a band with her friends. Just then, Mr. Bates appears and ruins the mood. When she gets home, her friends are waiting at her garage to jam and practice. Ryan, who is Tess' boyfriend, comes into the picture. Anna doesn't necessarily like him, but he is already engaged to her mother, and the nuptial rehearsal is happening the next day on a Friday. Maddie then tells the band that a playing slot has opened up at the local bar, and they are slated to perform on Friday. Anna thinks she can juggle both events and hopes to ask her mom to be excused. When Anna gets back to her room, she finds Harry and his friends jumping on her bed and reading her diary aloud. She chases them out, but she also discovers that her room door has been completely taken out. It's supposed to be punishment for the 2 different detentions she got that day. She approaches her mum angrily, and Tess lays down the facts and the law. Anna tries to explain that Stacy and Mr. Bates are out to ruin her school experience. Ryan steps in and suggests they make a Chinese dinner tonight. While ordering at the Chinese restaurant, Ryan excuses himself. And Anna tries to work her way back into her mother's favor. This is so she can get permission to play with her band and skip the dinner rehearsal. Tess sees through her and takes her aside. They argue about one or the other being selfish. Anna says it's only a day, but Tess insists they must all be together as a family at the rehearsal. The Chinese restaurant owner and her mom look on, and then the mom decides to intervene. She takes 2 fortune cookies over to them as they argue. They are separated by the restroom door when they both open their cookies and read aloud. Then what feels like an earthquake happens. When they get back to the restaurant's main floor, they see that no one is shaken. By midnight that same day, something strange happens. They switch souls. By morning, Tess is in Anna's body and vice versa. It's totally awkward, especially when Ryan comes calling to drive them. Tess has to attend Anna's school, and Anna has to attend to a patient at the workplace. So they part ways, and Ryan goes on to drop Anna. He leans in for a kiss, but Anna turns it down. On her way up to her office, she sees a window display and retrieves her mum's wallet. She goes on a shopping spree for much more edgy clothes. By the time she gets to work, her phone is blowing up. Then, she discovers her mum uses eyeglasses. Evan, her early appointment for that day, shows up. Other patients come around too in the course of the day, and she gets through the therapy sessions by doodling. Stacy bullies Tess a little, and then Anna's friends show up. They try to gossip about Jake, but Tess shuts it down. While in class, Tess gets first-hand experience of Mr. Bates tormenting Anna. She now recalls that he had asked her to the prom back in high school, but she declined. And now, he is taking it out on Anna. She threatens to report him to the school board. Once outside, Anna's friends ask her if she told her mom about their band gig. Tess says she didn't give permission. Anna's friends are subsequently disappointed and offended. All in all, Tess slowly understands what it means to be Anna. Anna speeds up to pick Tess up in her Volvo at the end of school. Worse still, Tess, as Anna has no license, so she can't commandeer the car back because she is a teenage Anna in theory. Their next stop is the Chinese restaurant, where the mix-up all began. They find Pepe there, who is the owner. And they lay down their complaint to her. When she realizes the gravity of what has happened, Pepe calls her mother's attention. They say a few things in Chinese, like how it was bad timing to use the magical fortune cookies a day away from Tess' wedding. Eventually, Pepe says she can't help them. Only they can help themselves if they fulfill what the cookies said. Tess gets back to school in time for her major test. She sees Stacy and walks over as she tries to restart some rapport between them. Stacy then asks Tess to sit with her, and while the exam is ongoing, Stacy implicates Tess by saying she is cheating. So Tess gets sent to detention. She soon slips out while the detention teacher is asleep. She sees Jake just outside the door, and he says he can help her complete her test. So they go into the teacher's lounge to which Jake has access. Once Tess is done with it, she finds Stacy's paper somehow and erases all the answers. Jake is not impressed by this. But Anna is on TV at an interview, and Tess is appalled at how she is handling herself. Once outside, Jake speeds off on his bike while citing Tess' revenge behavior over Stacy as a deal breaker. When Anna gets home that morning, Ryan has a surprise for her. But first, he tries to kiss her, and she runs. While Ryan covers her eyes, he leads her into the TV studio. Her surprise is supposed to be publicity by way of a TV interview about her book. Anna has never read her mother's book and so doesn't know what to say about it. She can only crack jokes and stall. Or at least, she can talk from her experience as a teenager, which comes in handy for answering a question or two. After the interview, Anna leaves abruptly when Ryan tries to find her. She goes over to a coffee place and bumps into Jake there. They hit it off immediately, with Anna being Tess and all. Jake is sooner smitten by Anna's love for the same rock songs he likes. But then, Tess has to leave for her wedding dinner rehearsal, and Jake is desperate and disappointed because he thinks he has met a great woman who is twice his age but has Anna's mind. He is able to convince her to ride with him on his bike. They get to a traffic light, and Ryan sees Tess, or is it Anna, on Jake's bike. Before he can wind down his window, they speed off. Anna, as Tess barely gets back home late. Just as Tess in Anna's body castigates her for being tardy, she has to get dressed. Anna mentions that Jake is such a great guy. Then Ryan arrives and confronts Tess about what he saw earlier. Tess, as Anna comes to her defense and ultimately says she accepts Jake as a good match for his daughter. Next thing you know, Jake is singing love songs outside their house, and Tess spots him. She runs outside and tackles him. She warns him to stop singing to Anna's mother. They are soon on their way to the rehearsal. Anna's friends gate crash the event. Even Jake does too. Anna's friends, Maddie and Peg, really need her to play the guitar at their rock band trials. So much so they are desperate enough to try to kidnap her. The security at the event stops them. Jake, on his part, really wants to talk to Tess, but she continually pushes him away. Maddie and Peg are brought before Ryan. He sees that they need Anna for their trial gig to be successful, and so he graciously lets Anna join them. The problem is Anna is actually Tess with zero guitar playing skills. Ryan even lets Tess go with her daughter Anna for support. It turns out this will save the night. While on stage, Tess can't play to save her life or the band for that matter. So Anna plays her part from backstage while Tess pretends like she is the one actually playing. Now Jake's eyes are opened, and he sees Anna for who she is, which is a cool girl who plays the guitar like a true rock star. So he immediately switches from liking Tess to liking Anna. And the band gets the nod they were looking for. Anna and Tess then rush to Ryan's side, and Jake narrowly misses them as they leave. When they get to the rehearsal venue, Tess asks Anna a favor, and she tells Ryan they have to postpone the wedding for reasons apparent to only the two of them. Tess, who loves Ryan and doesn't want to put him off, it's an emotional moment. She also knows that he will agree to do this if he loves her. So Anna walks over in Tess' body and starts to give a speech. She does quite well at it and seizes the opportunity to declare her liking for her stepfather. Then suddenly, there is a local earthquake at the venue, and fortunately, the two women switch bodies again. And all it took was selfless acts towards each other, as the fortune cookie suggested at first. Later on, Ryan and the real Tess get married. It's a happy day, and Anna and her mother meet up and hug each other. Now they understand each other more than ever and are grateful for this. Jake shows up and apologizes to Anna for getting confused between her and her mother. He offers to dance with her. And they give each other a reconciliation kiss. Out there, on the edges of the reception party, little Harry is still trying to decide if he should walk up to a girl and ask her to dance. His grandpa taunts him a little for not having the courage. Pepe's mom arrives with yet another set of magical fortune cookies for both of them. Pepe sees what her mother is trying to do and runs over to tackle Grandpa and little Harry before they break the cookies. And she succeeds in stopping another potential disaster just as Anna's band plays the wedding reception out. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and hit that notification button to open more files like this.